It's good morning, and it's kind of like good evening to my East Coast friends, but it's a friend from the Pacific Standard Time today, and that's why I am giving an interview in the morning because it's kind of difficult to arrange time um, in the evening, no, in the morning their time. In any ways, today's guest is finally Mr. Lindsay Leveen. He was originally from South Africa, and he has moved to the United States. Um, he has a degree from chemical engineering at a university back in South Africa. Anyways, today's topic is not exactly my specialty, but it's not necessarily about politics. And also, um, he told me that it's okay to say, but he's Jewish. Yeah. And, uh, you know what's happening in ICJ in any ways, to be honest. but, but, uh, so I would like to discuss, he has written a book called Hydrogen, and I would like to discuss probably what I am interested in is the possibility of hydrogen as the fuel. But I guess he has a lot of opinions. So I would like to ask him several questions um, and discuss hydrogen, which really I really liked chemistry, back in, but that's something back in high school. So it has been a long time, and I cannot remember a single thing. But I mean, single um, like research field level knowledge. But I'm very interested and always curious about something. So I'd like to invite various people of various fields. Anyways, I'd like to welcome Mr. Lindsay Leveen. Lindsay. Okay, hi Lindsay. How are you?
I'm fine. How you doing? California, and you are in Japan.
Yes, I am in Japan. So, the the Pacific Standard Time, then probably the morning is better for me because yeah,
Yeah, it's
it's
quite good now. It's going to be 4 p.m.
yes, yes.
It's
Uh
getting
s-
dark early, winter. So, do you want me to explain who I am?
yes, please. Yeah, please. Yeah, please do.
So, I'm a chemical engineer. I studied chemical engineering in South Africa
Hmm.
and then came to the United States as a young man and studied more chemical engineering.
Oh.
And I got graduate studies in the United States and undergraduate in South Africa.
Oh, I
And I,
see. I see.
and I worked as a chemical engineer for 50 years.
Wow.
I've actually been to Japan numerous times
Mhm.
since living in the United States.
I see. Actually, California is one of the places with a lot of memories for me. Uh, yeah, like I used to visit Southern California. Yeah, I had
Yeah.
friends there. So, yeah. Very frequently. So,
Yeah.
but so may I ask, like, what made you, like, major in chemical engineering?
It's a pretty interesting story. I have a brother who's 12
Mm-hmm.
years older than me.
Mm-hmm.
He studied that. He actually became a professor of chemical engineering here in the United States.
Oh, really?
But he studied in South Africa as well and then came to the United States.
Oh.
And I had a teacher who was a high school teacher who was a chemical engineer.
Oh.
So it seemed like a really interesting thing to do because I was interested in math
Oh,
and
okay.
chemistry and science.
Mm-hmm.
I was sort of gifted in science
Mm-hmm.
and math.
Mm-hmm.
Not great in like languages. I couldn't learn French or something like that. So I became a chemical engineer. It was the right choice
Oh.
because I think I excelled at that particular field.
Mm. So, so I believe, the first thing that comes up when it comes to hydrogen is that, I mean, it's a future, like, energy, probably, like major energy, like potential, I believe.
Yeah, people are hopeful that
Mm.
it's got the potential to replace hydrocarbon fuels, fossil fuels.
Mm.
The problem with it is it's such a very light gas. And so
Oh.
when I got out of graduate school, I went to
Mm.
work at Air Products, which is a
Mm.
company that makes hydrogen,
Mm-hmm.
makes liquid hydrogen.
Oh.
I worked on the hydrogen. We produced hydrogen for the space shuttle, for the
Oh.
rockets. And it's interesting that the fuel tank on the space shuttle, if you
Yes.
remember, used to be jettisoned. It used to be thrown away and discarded from the rest of the spacecraft as it took off
Mm-hmm.
because it took up so much volume that,
Oh.
and it had to be an external tank.
Mm-hmm.
So hydrogen's big problem is that on a volumetric basis, you
Mm.
need so much volume of the gas to get the energy that you would get out of diesel or gasoline.
Oh.
So it's the storage that is really the problem rather than the manufacturing.
Oh, I did not actually know about this volume issue.
Yeah, that's because it's so light.
Yes.
It's the lightest element in the periodic table.
Oh,
Okay, it's the first element.
I see.
It goes hydrogen, then helium,
Mm-hmm.
then lithium. So it's so light, and it also liquefies at
Mm-hmm.
very, very low temperature. Only
Ah,
helium is at a lower
yes.
temperature. So compressing the gas takes a lot of hassle.
Hmm. Oh, I see. I did not actually, think about that until.
Yes. Well, no one realizes that, but it's really its biggest problem.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there has been a lot of research to store the hydrogen on metal hydrides and other things
Mm-hmm.
other than compressing it or liquefying it.
Oh.
But those have not yielded really the results that people have hoped for.
Oh. Wow. Wow, that story is very interesting to me. I'm sorry. But,
Yeah, so in
um,
Japan,
mm-hmm.
right near my house here in California,
Mm-hmm.
like a kilometer away,
Mm-hmm.
there's a pumping station where people who have like a Mirai hydrogen Toyota.
Oh, yes, right.
Or car, there's some cars from Korea that have hydrogen. They can fill up.
Oh,
But
yeah.
the tanker that has to bring the hydrogen has to come so frequently for so few number of cars that are filled up.
Oh, I see. Well, so I read your book, but I'm very lightheaded on this field. But you know what? It's not just politics, that I would like to discuss, and I probably I'll be discussing the field that I don't specialize with the other people too, as like you do.
Right.
Yeah, so I hope that I learned something from what this interview, because so that as well.
Sure.
Yes. Just a minute. So I have your book, and I have
The book was written 20 years ago.
20 years
My
ago.
wife?
Oh.
2003. I was very early in writing much about hydrogen.
Oh, I see.
And my wife wants me to update the book.
Oh.
But I've sort of lost interest in updating something because so much, there's been so much greenwashing. I don't know if that happens in Japan.
Brainwashing?
Where companies claim that they've got very good ecological products, green products, but really they don't.
Oh.
And a lot of the hydrogen companies just try to make quick money, failed at making money, took the government's money or the taxpayers' money, and now they are worthless.
Oh.
So it's
that's
very,
sad.
very, very crazy environment for hydrogen. And now that Trump is the president, he has zero interested in the hydrogen. The government, under Biden gave a lot of money towards the hydrogen.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Billions of dollars. In fact, the U.S. set the policy in the last several years more rapidly than Europe or Japan about hydrogen.
Oh. I see. I also did not know about that.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
There's a big race in the world for who can manufacture the hydrogen. The truth is that the Chinese. Maybe I should go back to 1997. I represented a Japanese company from Kobe in the U.S. about hydrogen.
Oh, okay.
And that company had very advanced technology for the electrolysis of water. But it was very expensive. And now in 2025, it's the exact same story. The technology is still very expensive. But the Chinese and the Indians from India are trying to dominate the manufacturing of hydrogen from water with electricity.
Oh, with electricity. Oh, the hydrogen with electricity?
Yeah.
Wow.
With renewable electricity. That is the great hope and expectation, but I think it's going to be the greatest
threat.
Technological nothing. Sort of like, do you remember the Sony Betamax? For video recording?
Sony Betamax. Maybe, yeah.
It was a very high quality way
Mm-hmm.
to record video,
Oh.
VCR.
Oh, yes,
But
yes, I do. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, but it was too expensive and never got anywhere. And Sony
Oh.
then, after many years, gave up.
Mm-hmm.
I think the hydrogen from electrolysis will be a very similar story.
Oh. I see.
But we will see. I could be wrong.
Well,
Probably,
but see, like one thing probably President Trump will be interested is airspace fields, I guess. Like, the technology. I'm not
yeah,
sure.
so using the hydrogen for the spacecraft
Yes.
is still going to happen because no one cares what it costs to put the spacecraft to go up in space, right?
Yeah.
But the average person in Illinois
Mhm.
or Iowa
Mhm.
wants gasoline that is cheap, isn't interested in carbon dioxide and global warming.
Mhm.
And I
Well.
became
Mhm.
interested in that years ago.
Oh, I see. Well, actually, yeah, my interest, regarding hydrogen was, to be used in like cars because of the exhaustions, but that was something, yeah, as I say, maybe as I recall, maybe for a long time. And, maybe it could be like 20 years, as you mentioned, because, yeah, like, I guess there is a conference, technological conference of, making hydrogen into, uh, um, like, car, like fuels.
Yes.
But, in Japan, but that's something, about Japan, by motor industries, I guess,
Yes.
or
There's no doubt that Toyota is interested in
yeah,
that,
yeah, exactly.
and Honda.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was talking about Toyota. But
Yeah.
I was so
So I actually think
mhm,
for transportation,
yes.
um, into in inner city light rail vehicles like trams. I don't know if you
Yes.
have those. I'm trying to remember.
Mhm.
You certainly have trains in Japan,
Yes, yes.
but things like light rail,
Mhm.
hydrogen could be good. Things
Okay.
like um, small ferries
Mhm.
on the bay, like Tokyo Bay or Osaka Bay,
Uh-huh.
could be hydrogen. But small
Hmm.
cars, it's likely that batteries
Mhm.
will still continue to sell many more vehicles,
Mhm.
electric vehicles,
Mhm.
than hydrogen vehicles
Mhm. I see.
because of the storage. That is the problem.
Ah, okay. If it has to be at certain level.
Yeah,
Mm.
the more big the device that uses it,
Mhm.
like a train or a ferry,
Hmm.
then you can actually put the storage in.
Oh,
Okay,
I see.
but
Yeah.
a car,
Mm.
you're kind of stuck. So
Hmm.
maybe some trucks
Mhm.
can do it. Big trucks,
Ah, okay.
okay,
Yes.
where the batteries just can't do the job.
Hmm. I see.
So it might still become popular,
Ah, okay.
but it'll be expensive.
Mhm. So,
And
yeah, and also, yeah, it's expensive too.
yeah,
But do you So, what do you, well, probably, like, I guess, like, the next probably 10 years, like, probably the best choice would be electrical cars or, hybrid cars, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Toyota
Mm.
pioneered the
Mm.
hybrid, the Prius.
Yes.
It's brilliant engineering.
Mm.
In fact, in the book in 2003, I wrote about the Prius.
Oh, really?
There's part of a chapter, and
Yeah.
the optimization
Mm-hmm.
of the gasoline, the petrol engine,
Mm-hmm.
with the small battery,
Mm.
optimized the efficiency
Mm.
of the propulsion of the vehicle.
No. Okay.
And it was very good engineering.
Oh.
And I think it'll continue that hybrid
Mm-hmm.
or plug-in hybrid,
Mm-hmm.
and in some cases fully electric,
Mm-hmm.
will dominate. So a country like Norway,
Yes.
all the new cars are electric.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh.
it leads the world because it's a rich country.
Yeah.
But a country like Bangladesh,
Uh-huh.
most of the cars use the liquid propane gas, that you use for cooking or barbecues. I don't know if you
Really?
do that. Yeah,
Wow.
because it's cheap and it's available.
Oh, I see. I did not know
So
that.
automobiles all over the world are very different.
Oh.
And it depends how rich the country is, how much
Hmm.
the people will adopt the new technologies.
Oh, okay. Well, actually, I hear that Israel is actually promoting electric cars. Yeah.
Yeah. So Israel has actually spent a lot of money
Mm-hmm.
on Project Better Place,
Mm-hmm.
where they were going to have swap outs where you could take the battery that was somewhat dead in your car
Mm-hmm.
and with a robot pull it out and put in a new battery
Mm-hmm.
so that you didn't have to wait to be charged to
Oh.
get the electricity into the battery. The problem with batteries is it takes a long time to fill up the battery,
Mm.
and the electric grid is not very good.
Mm. Wow, I did
So,
not know that. Yeah.
yeah. So this
So,
guy I
mm-hmm.
actually know, who's a billionaire in Israel,
Mm-hmm.
he wasted like $1 billion on this. You should read up in Google on Project Better Place.
Project Better Place. Oh.
Yeah, it went bankrupt. But the
Oh.
French were also involved. Renault, the French
Oh.
automobile company,
Mm-hmm.
was part of the story. They couldn't supply the cars.
Mm.
What's happened is that the Chinese have become the best at making the batteries. Much better than the US or Panasonic in Japan or
Yeah,
Sanyo in Japan.
that's a really now, Chinese corporations are like developing, at enormous space. I'm not praising them. They're doing a lot of bad things though,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no. I mean, the West is behind.
Yeah.
And, Trump is saying that we have to improve what we do.
Mm-hmm.
I've been saying that for many years in my blog.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the United States better wake up soon.
Mm.
Else, we'll be speaking Mandarin soon.
Oh.
Which I don't want to do when I'm old.
Horrible.
Yeah, so we have to get going here in America
Yeah.
and in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
and in Europe. I mean, Europe is a casualty.
Oh my gosh. You know what? I actually did not realize, all the problems you pointed out. And there is one problem with this, Chinese now seem to make like better drones, something like that.
Yeah, because they got good batteries. The
Really?
Yeah, so I actually worked on battery chemistry and wrote testimony to the U.S. Senate on batteries.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
But
How long ago is that?
What's really,
Mm.
that was in 2010 I wrote the testimony.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah. And during COVID, I worked with a group out of Rice University in Texas
Mm-hmm.
on new battery chemistry for lithium batteries.
Oh.
So this is not about hydrogen, but maybe I can tell you a bit about batteries.
Oh, yeah, just please do. I'm not just restricting, you have to talk about, like something.
Okay. So in a battery, there's a thing called an anode,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a thing called a cathode, which are the electrodes.
Oh.
Okay, then there's a separator that separates them so you don't short circuit.
Mm.
And then there's an electrolyte that moves the lithium from the anode to the cathode, from the cathode to the anode.
Oh.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The anodes are made of graphite, which China mines.
They have a lot of those, I guess,
Graphite.
in China.
Right. So we've got a lot of research now going on solid lithium,
Mm-hmm.
or using silica,
Mm.
or growing graphene from gases to make the anode.
Oh.
Then on the cathode,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the chemistry is around nickel and cobalt and manganese, which are in short supply. But then there's also a thing called iron phosphate. Iron, like steel iron. And the U.S. developed the technology, but the Chinese have now globalized the iron phosphate.
Yeah, they have developed their own way, I guess. Like
manufacturing there is excellent, big.
Yeah.
So I don't know how and Europe does nothing. It's a joke. The battery company just went bankrupt.
Yeah.
We have 3 or 4 battery companies that went public on the stock market. And their stock is terrible.
Oh, I see.
And so so the government now is loaning money, lots of money, with cheap interest to people who will build battery factories in the U.S.
So, what you are saying is that, like, probably Japan has the same issue. As I know a person from, the government. He understand quite much, quite a lot understands the field that you specialize in. And Japan, well, this is a little bit different, but semiconductor like fields in Japan went bankrupt, in 1970s because Japan did not support the industry, like give subsidies for them or something like that, to so that this develops into a national level industry. I mean, I believe it had like a lot of potential, but yeah, this government just screwed up like this whole company, and now, you know, now Japan is just trying to make the like joint company with the United States and Japan.
Yeah.
Those. But it's kind of like disappointing that Japan could have a lot of technology, like
Oh yeah. I've spent a lot of time in Japan, and there's excellent engineering.
yeah.
There's smart people. The problem is that it's expensive and hard to really develop.
Oh.
The country has to. So look, Nippon Steel wants to buy U.S. steel
Mhm.
now. I don't know if you followed that.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah, I
I
do.
follow the steel industry now pretty strongly.
Mhm.
I'm involved in the steel industry.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. Maybe could you have some words on it, because I have a lot of words on the Biden administration's decision on January 3rd. I.
Yeah. So Biden just wants to have the unions, the
Yeah,
workers'
exactly.
unions.
Yeah.
He doesn't have much of a brain left in his head, and he's sort of he's
Well,
not the decision maker. It's sad. I mean,
yeah.
he's lost 6 months as president
Oh,
is
yeah.
terribly sad. So the unions basically told him not to allow Nippon Steel to buy U.S. steel.
Hmm.
I think Nippon Steel would have done a better job at managing the company,
Hmm.
because the company is poorly managed in the U.S.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the jobs would have been better but that's not going to happen.
Hmm.
That's life. Actually, one of my latest inventions
Hmm.
that just got a patent
Mm-hmm.
is to make the iron for steel.
Iron
In
for
a,
steel.
there's iron that's used in steel.
Mm-hmm.
You mine the iron ore,
Mm-hmm.
then you turn it into iron. You
Wow.
purify the ore, and then you turn the iron into steel.
Oh.
Okay. The part that makes the iron
Mm-hmm.
from the stuff that is mined,
Mm-hmm.
the ore,
Mm-hmm.
requires a lot of energy.
Oh.
Okay, to get rid of the oxygen in the ore.
Hmm.
Okay. And so I actually came up with a improved method to do that.
Mm-hmm.
That the government wanted to subsidize in the U.S., but
Mm-hmm.
that the Japanese wanted to be involved in.
Mm-hmm.
But then the government got really silly and gave all this money to making the iron from hydrogen instead of from hydrocarbons or from coal.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So when government gets involved in big industries, sometimes they really make mistakes, bad mistakes. And I think that's what happened to Japan, and I think that's what happened to the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
And both countries need to really wake up and do the best quality engineering and science
Mm.
and make things happen.
Mm.
Factories, production,
Mm.
and it can happen with
Mm.
and maybe Trump will do that, and maybe your prime minister will do that. Maybe.
Well, to be honest, this is like more of a politics, but that's what a female candidate was talking about. And sadly, you know what? She won the first like votings, and then she did not have enough vote to be the prime minister. And then there was a second time voting, and I'm sure that she was traded by certain people, so she lost. And then we have this strange prime minister. I don't know what he wants to do.
Well, we better get his act together because it's fairly soon. Maybe there's 10 years
Yes,
to
exactly.
wake, to wake up,
Yeah.
or you can go to sleep forever. That's
Yeah.
basically.
We're going to be dead. Yeah.
And I'm 72, so I don't really.
Well, if you're healthy, you can live up to, pretty much long, so.
I don't know. We'll see. But I just carry on, and I love science, and I love engineering.
Well, I think that, just a minute. Okay. So, so, so now, now, what? Well, like, actually, to be honest, like Cleveland Cliff's, statement, did you hear what he said?
Oh, yeah. That guy, Cleveland Cliffs, is completely, I don't know what the word is, but he's aggressive, okay?
Yeah, I know. And he probably wants to, you know what? What is going to happen is that, in my common sense, he is going to say, like, we're going to be buying, U.S. steel cheaper or something. He has still, ambition, I guess.
Oh, yeah. But Cleveland Cliffs started off mining ore. They didn't make steel. They used to just sell their ore to the steel. Then they integrated by buying a steel company.
Oh, okay. I see.
But they're not a very good steel company.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a famous and excellent steel company. Then they tried to get into taking the ore and doing what I'm doing in my patent.
Oh, really?
Okay. And they built a plant that is okay, but not great. Okay. Then they went to the government and said, now we can change this plant to use hydrogen, which it can't do. And the government gave them a grant of $500 million.
Oh, really?
Okay? And who knows if they'll ever do it with the hydrogen. So there's a lot of politics and government involvement, and I don't need to get into how bad Biden is. But I can only hope that Trump doesn't waste as much money on nonsense. I'm sure there'll be his friends that get other things, but a lot of this hydrogen hype that got lots of government money is going nowhere.
Well, I see. Yeah. Well, it's...
And steel was the one industry that hyped the hydrogen, more so than even transportation. I think the biggest hyping in the past 5 years for hydrogen has been to make steel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's the wrong chemical.
Maybe, I'm not sure. Actually, I have a friend, who is a researcher at Nippon Steel. And Nippon Steel, I think you know a lot about, the company. But, it makes a very good quality steel. And it's a steel company, the oldest steel company in Japan.
Yeah.
But, they when there was a great East earthquake, like, in, northern part of Japan, like Fukushima, nuclear power plant, was in trouble. And what Nippon Steel developed, was asked to develop, was to take care of all the debris, that was just spreading around. He was responsible for it, and um, yeah, like, there were a lot of debris, just
Right.
destroyed houses, all those things, it has to be cleared so that just something,
Right.
people can do something about it. So yeah, he was responsible for it. I mean, it's not just just one thing that Nippon Steel is persistent to, but I was very I mean, obviously I saw Nippon, I don't know, U.S. Steel CEO's press statement, you know.
Well, the U.S. Steel guys want money. They're trying to get rich. That's the
Yeah, of
management.
course. I mean,
It's got
that's
nothing to do. They mismanaged a company, and now they've got the opportunity that Nippon will pay a lot of money.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
That's their only interest. They don't care about the people. They don't care about the environment. They just care about money. Cleveland Cliffs just cares about money and
Yeah.
power.
Mm.
Okay. And I think that Nippon Steel could have managed the company better. You're talking about Fukushima and the earthquake.
Yeah.
Okay. So the great earthquake in San Francisco.
Oh, yes, I remember
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Years ago, in 1908, 115 years ago, 117 years ago. My wife's grandfather started the business to get all the lumber debris from the earthquake,
Oh, really?
from the torn down houses and the wharf and the piers and everything. And he started a business that became famous in San Francisco for construction lumber.
Oh,
But his
wow.
first job was to recover the junk, the debris.
But still, I mean, it's important, I think,
Of course,
in many ways.
recycling is critical.
Yes.
Yeah. And recycling of steel to make new steel is also critical. But anyway, I've given you a lot of thoughts. I don't know how much longer you want to do the interview.
Well, yeah, I think that, it's about time that I have to let you go. But I hope that, you come back, some other time and, talk about something different. And, I was surprised that, your wife is from California.
Yeah, I met her here
Yeah.
40 years ago.
Oh, wow.
California.
Wow,
I
great.
came to California in 1982.
Oh, really?
I came to the United States in 1975.
Oh, I see.
I stayed on the other side of the country, but then I came to California.
Wow.
I love California.
Yeah.
But California, we can talk about California politics. It's much worse than Japan.
Yeah. Well, that's true. But yeah, anyways, probably it's about time that, I have to let you go. And also, maybe you have like abundant knowledge on, I found out that it's not just about, hydrogen, that. And so I will let you go. And well, thank you very much for.
Are you going to post this so that I could get the link?
Sure. It's a little opposite, but I would like to. Well, I know Mr. Lindsay Leveen's background. He was awarded as the Professional Development Award, American Institute of Chemical Engineers, Northern California section, for a lifetime of achievement in chemical engineering. So he is a very dedicated, chemical engineer, and he was graduated from University of Witwatersrand, South Africa, and then he has master's degree from Iowa State University. So I hope to discuss further about the battery issues that Japan and the United States have, and the drones, and also other weapons. I'm sorry, but I want to be a pacifist, but if there's something, Japan has every right to defend itself, and Russia and China said something like, you can't do that. But we can, of course, and we don't know about the result of Nippon Steel. And it's also important that the Japanese government and the politicians are involved to lobby. I mean, it's not spying, but it's it's about like a U.S.-Japan alliance at the same time, and also it's going to be mass production, and it's profitable for U.S. Steel at the same time, and Japan, for Japan, like Nippon Steel, is going to expand, get into the U.S. market, which has more freedom, as I know, which is true. And I hope that Japan has open market at some point in the future, like the United States as well. So, anyways, I'd like to end this podcast, and I hope to invite Mr. Leveen, Lindsay, very soon. He avoided California wildfire, and I am very pleased that he is safe. Okay, so have a good day and good night, to the East Coast people, or and the West Coast. For the West Coast people, it's like 5 or 6 p.m. So have a good evening. Goodbye.